So welcome to the stream. Today we're making interactive furniture, so stuff like a bed, or alarm clock, ceiling fan, dresser with drawers, a lockable door, TV with remote, and any other suggestions that y'all might have. And then also for my next stream it will be tutorials. So as for this series that I'm doing during the summer, so on Friday we'll be playing the game. Sunday we'll be creating my favorite features and any features that y'all suggest during either of those streams. And then I got 2 more games after that, and then I'll be in school, so I'll just be going back to my once a month streaming schedule, and I'll be doing the random theme streams. So we could make a bed, and also the focus here is on logic, not visuals. Hello Mook, thanks for joining. So yeah, we're making interactive furniture. So right now we're making a bed with 3 or 4 laying down positions depending on how well I can rotate the on-side animation. I haven't really messed with that animation too much. And then we're gonna have a button for snoring as well. And also I just got back from Florida. I was in Disney, so that's why I wasn't streaming last week, in case you didn't see the announcement. So I was in Florida last Sunday. I went to like 2 different Disney parks, and I went to visit family. And I never met my cousins over there before, so that was cool. So let's see. I like the fawn weave for the bed. Of course we'll need wood. I think I'll make this floor. So I think this should be good for the thickness. I got a game we should recreate in Little Big Planet. Okay, what is it? It really depends on the genre whether or not I'll play it. But like, what game were you thinking of? Okay, I'm thinking of using dark wood here. I got darker wood, so this might work. But I was thinking something lighter, but I'll see how this looks. I'm just gonna do a front view bed, by the way. I'm thinking of either Donkey Kong Bonanza or Mario Kart. I think Mario Kart. I played it before. This kid that I babysit has the game, and I think I'll have it. I have the digital version, but like I would have to download it. So like my download code is somewhere in my room. So yeah, if I could download it, then yeah, I'll play it. I'm not very good at Mario Kart, so I don't know how that live stream will go. But like, I mean, it won't be too hard. I could practice beforehand, I guess. So yeah, that will be not next week, but probably the week after that if I could download it. Because in case you missed the beginning part, Terraria is next week, and then 2 more games after that. So I guess Mario Kart will be one of those 2 games. Yeah, Donkey Kong Bonanza. Also, I don't own the game, so yeah, it's not that it would be too complex to make. I don't make the entire games in this series, but like just like specific features that I think are cool or that y'all think are cool. But yeah, just specific features. So I'll probably make like some of the power-ups or whatever from Mario Kart if I do that. I might use, what's that material called? Thick for the back. But yeah, right now I'm just making the bed frame. I feel like I made this too tall. Alright, there we go. I think this should be good. The ratios aren't the best, but I think y'all could tell that it's a bed. This isn't symmetrical. And then I'll just trim off the side there, and then I'll just make it bigger. I can't tell if it's centered since this is like a rounded material, but I think that's good. And then I'll just make the the legs of the bed, and then I can get started on the logic. I mean, I guess I should make a blanket, but I think I'll do that after the logic, so you can actually see them laying down, because the blanket will cover that up. Okay, this should be 2 layers. Am I using a different wood type? Okay, I see now. I was using a different wood. I was using this one. Alright, there we go. And then I just gotta make sure all this is glued, which it should be. For anyone that missed the beginning part of the stream, here's everything that we're making. So we're making a bed right now, and then an alarm clock, ceiling fan, a dresser, a door that can be locked, and a TV with the remote. And after let's say the 24th, after my stream on the 24th, I'll be back to my regular schedule of like once a month streams, since I'll be in school after that. Alright, so we're just gonna do a broadcast chip with the thing. I didn't do this in my RPG animations video. I mean, I guess I should do it the same way I did it there. Or like, this is the easiest way to do it, but it isn't the most thermo efficient way. At least that's what I've heard. So like, you can do it like all in a contact. And then just place the logic in there. I'm gonna start with the sackboy though, so I can see the animations that I'm choosing. So I'll set it to my character, and alright, so let's see what the laying down animations look like. I already know what laying back and laying on the front looks like, but laying on side, I want to see how well I can rotate that. Okay, laying on side. So if I rotate it, okay, yeah, that doesn't work. Actually, I guess I could. It would be facing the wrong way though. Like if it's on the pillow. Like what if I show you what I'm talking about? I'm actually not doing this side view. I should do this front view. But like, that's why I said 3 laying down positions instead of like 4. Because I would like to do this 4 directional. But like, if I can't get this to look good, then I'll just have to like do 1. Okay, so I would like to rotate it this way, but that happens, and then so yeah, that's why we're doing 3 positions, since this doesn't rotate properly. It would be nice if you could like choose the center of rotation, because like the center of rotation by default is sackboy's hitbox. So like the center of sackboy's hitbox, see how it's like rotating along this point. The only animations that are actually centered are the acrobatic animations. So the animations that play when you're on a bounce pad. So that's the laying down animation. So and then for this, the laying on back animation. So that's laying on side. So laying on back. I guess I could do front. So and then laying on back, which is how I sleep in real life. Alright, and there we go. Those are the 4 animations that we're doing. So you're just gonna make it 3 directional. So like when you press back, you're gonna lay on your back when you press front, and then if you press left or right, then it's just gonna do that. So like, we're gonna set it to receiver, controlled by nearest player. So the texture button presses, and then we're just gonna do the thing with the direction splitter that I did in my diving animation video and in my backflip video. So when you're pressing up or down, when you're pressing up, you should land your back. When you're pressing down, you should lay like that. And positive is up, negative is down. So let's see how that goes. So yeah, that was pretty good. Since it's like a mattress type thing, you sort of like sink into it. We could fix that if it's really an issue. I could like fix it by making it so I have like an invisible so I'm thinking that if I just do this and then cut away the top a little bit, and I can just make it so you don't collide with that, so it keeps the rounded look but you don't sink into it. So that's how I'm gonna do it, so you don't sink into the bed like we were doing before. Can't tell if I'm cutting it away. Well, I guess I did. But yeah, I'm gonna make this cardboard and I'm gonna decyclize the actual mattress. It's gonna be like invisible cardboard, so I'll need an opacity tweaker. And then I'll decyclize this. And then I'll place an opacity tweaker on that. And let's see how that looks if I make it the right amount of layers. And I gotta do this. I gotta move it down a bit, but it looks oh, move it. I accidentally made it too small when I was supposed to make it too big. So this, and then of course at the end I'll trim the sides. But like now he's like actually on the bed instead of like sinking into it, which is what I wanted. And then after, but yeah, now I'm just gonna make the sides, move the sides in, and then we can move on to the laying on side animation. But yeah, this is how it works right now. You have to hold it. I'm thinking of maybe adding a toggle, but I just want to get the animations down right now. And then for this one, I'm not going to use the direction splitter since there's only one way you can lay on your side. I tried rotating it, but it didn't look too good, so I'm going to stick with this one. Well, I did the wrong thing. There we go. So if you press it in either direction, it will lay on the side. And I said I was going to do one for snoring. So the snoring sound effect is one of those continuous sound effects. So that means it plays for as long as you hold one. And then maybe later we'll add like a toggle for the actual laying down thing. So I don't like that you have to hold it to lay down. So snoring is in human vox, I think. Or human body, I forget. There we go. and then we'll just make it so 1 is snore. So as of right now, here's how the logic works. You could press it either way to lay on your side, and then you could lay on your stomach, and then when you press 1, you could snore. I just realized I should haven't had an indicate on that, so I can't snore while standing up. So I guess I'll need an orgy as well. So like when you're pressing either your right stick or your left stick, not your right stick, up and down on your using your right stick either way, but up and down. So the orgy is for detecting if you're actually pressing the button to lay down. And then right now, so when you're pressing that button, and when you're pressing 1, then you snore. So now we can't snore while standing up anymore. So I'm pressing 1, and I won't do it until I'm laying down. I could also just lay down without snoring. So I'm just gonna clean up this logic a little bit. So I'm gonna space it out a bit. And there we go. Oh, I did toggle a bit later. But for the alarm clock, I already have some numbers that I got from a community level before the server shut down. I have them rewired, but like, just in case y'all are wondering how that process would go, I'll show you how to like wire it. I guess there's a tutorial on Little Planet 2 Scorp Skull. Little Planet 2 Scorp Skull has a video on how to do it. Actually, I'll take these numbers and I'll just like delete the selector. Alright, so I'll just delete all these selectors so I can see the process from the beginning. And again, I'm only doing the hours to save time. It's like making a clock is one of those things that are like real tedious, which is why I'm only doing the hours. Just to make it like less time consuming. So the way you do it to save time, or like to make it so I don't have to like copy and paste. If I were to do it, like the reason I had all the selectors on it instead of a microchip is to like save time, but since we're only doing the hours, it doesn't really matter. So yeah, there's 10 slots, so 0 through 9, so 10 numbers. So basically the way you do it is you wire it in order. It's pretty much like that. But yeah, I went to Disney, like, what was it, last week? And I guess the week before that, so yeah, I was in Disney for like 10 days. Not Disney, but like Florida. I was in Florida. So yeah, that was pretty fun. And I got to meet my cousins, who I'd never met before. Or like, yeah, my cousins and my second cousins, I guess. They're like older than me. But like, one of them is sort of near my age, or not. The one that's like closest to my age is probably like 30. But yeah, he was cool. I only met like one of my second cousins though. So like my cousins, they have like, so one of them has like sons, the other ones have daughters. I haven't met the girls yet. But like the sons, apparently there's 3 of them. But I only met one of them. But yeah, when I saw them, we went out to eat. So like, it was like, what was it, this chicken place, I think? I didn't get chicken though, I just got a burger. But yeah, that's really all it is. Since I'm only doing the hours, we don't really need these. Oh yeah, and then for the middle, for the dots in the middle, basically what you do is you take sticker panel, and if you try to place it like this, you're gonna notice that you can't place the circle decoration too small. This is beige, not white. I need a white circle. But if you try to place it right now, you're gonna see that you can't place it too small. So to get around that, the thing that you're gonna place it on, you place it big. So like this is sticker panel. So you place it big, and then you can shrink it. And from there I could just change the color. So I think this is made out of sticker panel. So now like the color is matching. So I didn't just like do like the green sticker because I wanted to make sure the color matched. I didn't realize that was thick. But yeah, pretty much what you do is you just glue it, making sure it's the right layer, unlike what I did before. So yeah, and then to change the hours, you pretty much just like, so I'm gonna have it automatically doing it. I have to place all these together though. I'm gonna temporarily set these to like not invisible so I can actually see them. But yeah, right now, for anyone that just joined, I'm making an alarm clock, just the hours though, because the entire process is a bit tedious. So that's why I'm only doing the hours, but like, I didn't realize that I accidentally placed the sticker panel over the one. So that's why I got cut off a little bit. But yeah, I gotta place that again without doing that. Okay, yeah, I think that's good now. So now I just set this to not invisible to make it easier. So I can actually set it to preview mode without the wires now. And then I have to set this to small grid. But yeah, for anyone that missed the beginning of the stream, after today, I'll be going back to my regular, not after today, after the 24th, I'll be going back to my regular schedule of like only streaming once a month since I have school pretty soon. So I gotta like keep up with my grades and stuff. And then during the school year, I'll be going back to my random theme streams. And this time I'm gonna pick out the themes in advance so I could like save my mental energy for school. Cause I remember near the end of last year, I was just doing chill streams because I didn't really have the energy to like think of topics or like doing anything complex. So like I'll at least think of the topics in advance. So that way, like when I get overwhelmed when I'm in school, I don't have to like worry about like thinking of topics. I'm thinking of like making maybe a music player. Think like the music sequencer, but like we would put it one style where you could actually, you know, like those little kid pianos. I had one of those when I was a kid. So I had like this digital keyboard where you could like play songs and you could even like record songs. I have something like that on my phone that I use sometimes when I'm on road trips and I'm bored. But like pretty much it's just like a digital keyboard that you could like play on and it like saves your songs. So that's cool. Hello Nintendo, thanks for joining. Pretty much the way this works, assuming that my thing isn't paused, is that it increases. So I'm gonna make it, I need a thing to detect AM, and I just realized that we need another one for the 12. This only goes up to 9. So yeah, I'm just gonna copy and paste this, and then I mean I didn't need to do that really. All I really need is the 2 and the 1, I think. But yeah, I just need the 2 and 1, and then I'll delete the other numbers. So that's a 0, 6. Normally I would do this before grouping them all together, but I completely forgot about the 10 and the 11. But yeah, here we go. I'm just turning the grid stuff as grid snap off for a second so it lines up right. But yeah, and then we don't need that or this. And then we pretty much just delete all the inputs except for the last 2. So last 2 is 1 and 2, and then we bring them together. We actually need 3. So yeah, we need 1 for like 0. Wait, is the 2 connected? So yeah, 1 and then 2. Zoom in so I can see. So that's output 3. Alright, there we go. So by default it wouldn't be invisible, and then after we get to like a certain thing, we'll do it like that. And now I can place all this in a microchip. It's just easier to like copy and paste it when it's not inside of a microchip, which is why I did it that way originally. There we go. For anyone that just joined right now, we're making the alarm clock. So we have to make it. So I'm just gonna make it so like just for testing purposes, I'm gonna make it so each hour lasts like maybe 5 seconds. But then once we get everything working, we're gonna make it so each hour lasts like 60 seconds, or like maybe 90 seconds. Okay, so let's test out this one. So it goes up by 1 every second since we're still testing. And then I want it so when it reaches 0, I suppose I could like add like to make this easier on myself, I'm just gonna add like a OR gate. I could do that, then I would have to drag the numbers down again. Or not. Okay, there we go. The 0 is right there. So I'm just gonna add an OR gate. And I still need to place that in a microchip. So 12. We have 12 for 12 inputs, so we have 1, 2, so 12. So when you let's see. Alright, so that 0 is for 10. I'm gonna speed it up so I could test it easier. I think I have it wired. I think I skipped like a wire or something. Alright, so I'm gonna unwire it. I'm just gonna disconnect that for a second. So 9 and then 10. Oh, I see what I did now. I see what I did. I did it the way that it's like normally wired. Like normally if you were to make a clock, you would do it like that, but wait, hold on, let me rethink this. So like we have the one. Before I had it set at 10. And then this was 0. So it goes 10, and then 11, and then 12. And then after that it resets to 0. So I'll probably need to add an AND gate there. So like after, so like this is invisible. This digit right here is invisible until it reaches and then 1. So the second time that it reaches 1. So I'll probably need a counter set to 2. So like it starts at 12. And then after that, this digit disappears. So I can make it, I actually don't need the counter now that I think about it. And also I realized I don't need the second thing. So I don't need the 2. I was thinking about the number 12. I just realized I don't need the 2. I'm used to making 24-hour clocks. But like, and then after this I'll need like a separate thing for AM and PM. So 12. I think I'm gonna do this a different way, just to make it easier for myself. Like I don't need to do the separate digits, since it's just like a 12-hour clock. So I think I'm gonna just, okay, so first step is to separate all of this, so I can move the numbers around easier. So I think I'm just gonna wire it like, so yeah, I need the 1. So I'm just gonna disconnect this. But yeah, since I'm not making like a full clock with the minutes, I don't really need to worry about like the separate digits. So I'm just gonna disconnect that. Okay, so we have 12, and I'm just gonna copy and paste it. So So 12. And then 2. This is like way easier. And in case you're wondering why I'm using the grid, in case it isn't obvious, it's just to keep everything in line like this, so it doesn't like look messy when the numbers change. To make sure this is lined up. I wasn't sure if it was lined up before. I don't think this is lined up. Alright, that's okay. So 12 and then 1. So yeah, this isn't like the proper way to do it, but it's like easier than what I was doing before. But yeah, the way the alarm clock's gonna work, it's just gonna be like, you could set it to like 7, 8, or like really whatever you want. If you wanted to go off at like 5 in the afternoon, you could do that. I mean 5 in the evening, you could do that. But it's gonna be like an alarm clock that you could set yourself. So like I normally set my alarm clock for like 8:30 or whatever. This only has hours. So like in this case, I would set it to like 7. I feel like the 2 shouldn't go there, but I don't know. I mean the 1, I feel like the 1 shouldn't be too close, shouldn't be so close to the other one. But I mean, I could change it later, I guess. Oh yeah, I already have the 12. I have the 12 at the top. And then after that, it will just change from AM to PM. So like, I'm gonna get this selector again. I'm just gonna wire it up, so like we have 12. Oh yeah, when I was on vacation, I tried setting the alarm clock on my watch, but apparently the alarm clock on my watch isn't loud enough, so I didn't wake up on time. And my mom was a bit upset, but like, I tried to wake up. There was actually a alarm clock in the Airbnb that we were staying in. But like, I don't know, I didn't think of using that one. I thought the alarm clock on my watch would be enough, but I guess it wasn't. So I like slept straight through it. Like we had to wake up early to go to Disney. Like there was still parking when we got there. Like it's a big park, so they have like a lot of parking. But like my mom just wanted to be there early. But yeah, it was like sort of hot when we went. Like it was like 90 degrees like all week. So yeah, my sister wasn't happy about that. I didn't care as long as we got ice cream. Like my sister was like complaining the whole time. Me, I just wanted ice cream. Like I wanted like soft serve ice cream. I remember back when I went to Disney when I was in California. I have family over there too. But when I went there, everything was like super expensive. Like the hot dogs, we got like 3 hot dogs. It was like $87, and we were like, no, we're not paying for that or whatever. But luckily over here, the hot dogs at least weren't that expensive. And like when we went to Disney, we went to one of the parks that we went to was called the Epcot Center. It was like one of the things that it had, along with like stuff related to science. It had like this this world showcase. It was like you could like experience like different cultures. So we went to like the Italy section, and I got to have like actual like authentic Italian food. It was like homemade, so that was pretty cool. I think I got this working. I had fettuccine, and then I think my mom had lasagna, and my sister also had fettuccine. But yeah, this is working now. And then to automate it, you just like add the selector. Oh, I forgot to say. Like, there's something over here. Alright, there we go. And then after I finish with the logic, I'll drag it all together. I have to make a thing that says AM and PM. So I'll just take this and copy and paste it. I'm thinking that could be like the A. And then if I cut like a thing in the middle of that, I could probably just use the corner editor. Alright, there we go. Okay, that's almost good. Just gonna move it up a little bit. And then I can rotate it. No, that doesn't look perfect, but it's good for now. And I'm just gonna actually like smush these two materials together. And then for the M, that would be like even easier. But yeah, I think this looks alright. And then we just make this real small. Actually, I have to test something. So if we were to actually make this, like we would put it has like a size limit for the corners, right? I guess it could be like a giant alarm clock on the wall if like the corners don't like to be strung that small. Or not giant. I guess this isn't too big. I would have preferred it if the numbers were smaller, but that's okay. But yeah, I'll be shrinking it down at the end since it's like a sack-sized thing. And then for PM, it would be like and we just flip it. Okay, I'm gonna make both of these big for now. So now I just need a second selector, so like it switches from AM to PM every time it reaches the number 12. So the number 12 is the first input. So I'll pause that. And then it should be switching between showing the two, so it doesn't really matter which one I wire first, but I'll just do AM first. And then PM will be the second one. Alright, so that seems to be working, so I was gonna make a settable alarm clock, but just to keep things simple, I'm gonna make it so it goes off at like 7, I guess. And then maybe we could like come back to this. So I'm thinking we could come back to the bed and make a toggle. I just wanna like get through everything, and then we can make it so you could actually like set it. But let's say at 7 it goes off, and again we're gonna set this to like 60 once we're done. But for now, I'm gonna have it set at 5. So the way you would make a normal alarm clock, that's like a normal thing, is you could set it to like 7 is like the 8th input, right? I accidentally set it to 9. But yeah, you could pretty much make it so if you have the alarm on, so it's like a toggle for whether or not you want to set the alarm, because obviously during the summer, I'm never setting my alarm, or like on Saturdays, I don't set my alarm, only during the school week, when I'm in school. So like, there's gonna be an alarm button. My watch has the same button. I'm not using my watch for an alarm clock again though, since I apparently sleep through it. I should probably use my phone as an alarm if I'm like away from home, cause that's probably like louder. I thought of an idea, not just now, but like if you're like an actual like Little Big Planet fan, something you could do is you could set your alarm sound as like the sound that plays when you run out of lives. That sounds like torture, but like it would probably wake you up, right? Because like if you ever tried to beat the bunker, that sound probably annoys you like crazy. The sound of a checkpoint running out of lives. So yeah, I would do that if I use my phone as an alarm, which I don't. Maybe next year, I'll do that when I use my phone as an alarm. But yeah, that would be crazy. It's sort of like if you're like a Zelda fan, setting the Guardian theme as your alarm clock sound would definitely wake you up. But yeah, I don't think anyone would do that unless you're crazy. But yeah, try setting your alarm clock sound to the Little Big Planet checkpoint that ran out of life sound effects. Like that would just be like really annoying, but like it would probably wake you up. But yeah, I'm gonna do that next summer since I have an alarm clock. I don't think I could like change the sound, but like if I use my phone, then I would like do that, I guess. But yeah, so the alarm clock. What were we doing? So yeah, we were toggling it on and off. So the way it's gonna work is if you decide, if you have your alarm clock set, which is just like an on and off button, and when it's 7, and the sound will play. So the sound is pretty much, it's gonna be like a thing on a sequencer. There's like a lot of beeping sound effects. So I'm gonna just place the sequencer first. It has a speed scale setting. We're gonna be using that. Cause like the way my alarm clock works in real life is that like if you don't press it, like after like about like 20 seconds, the sound will just get faster and it will sound like really annoying. So we're gonna do the same thing here. You could probably just use 2 sequencers instead of the speed scale. So that will probably save thermometer space. There was a sound I used a while ago. It's probably this one. It's like a beeping sound effect, so it's probably an UI. Here we go. This one, 5. I recognize that. It's either 5 or 2. But yeah, I think that's what my actual alarm clock sounds like. So if we just like set this to something fast and then set it to loop, and that should let me just test out the sound. Okay, so I don't remember exactly what my alarm clock sounds like since I haven't used it since the school year, but like it's something like that. But yeah, that's the sound that's gonna play when it reaches 7 o'clock and when you actually have it set. The whole speed up thing, I don't know how you would do that with the sequencer because I usually don't use the sequencer. I normally use the timer. Hold up, let me show you how to do it with the timer. I think it would actually be easy. It would be probably more thermal efficient to use it to do a timer. So I'm just gonna use that method instead. Since I'm like more comfortable using the timer anyway. So I'm gonna make it when it reaches the end and when the alarm is on. And it does that. Okay, so that's the sound that should start it. So then we need a counter set to 1, and that's how we're going to be turning it off. So the counter controls whether or not the sound is playing. And you turn it off by pressing a different button. All this is going to be set up by the controllinator, so it's probably just going to be L1. So I use L1 for pretty much everything. And then if you want to turn it off, you gotta press the button. Oh yeah, and it resets. So when you press that button, let's just have that button be represented by a circuit node for now. Later it's gonna be a control nader. I guess I'll just place the control nader right now. So I said L1, right? Controller. So controller, receive on is player. And then I'll have like maybe R1 to turn it off. And then L1 to like that's R2. And to toggle the alarm clock, I'm gonna use the L1 button. So yeah, the L1 button. And then when it turns off, it should reset as well. And there we go, it works. So now that we got it working, we could pretty much just drag all this together. I'm just gonna turn it off here. It's like the one never lines up properly, it looks like. And then I'll just drag all the other numbers and we should be good. Yeah, I don't think most of these are lining up, but it's okay, since I'm not like putting this in an actual level. So there's like no need to be a perfectionist. And then we just have this, so yeah, it's not lined up. Okay, yeah, just as I thought, I need to adjust the position of the 1 and a few of the other numbers, and then it should look good. So yeah, I'll just drag this up. Did I drag? Okay, yeah. I couldn't group select it because then it would be like selecting the other ones. Alright, there we go. I think it was the number 7 and then the number 4 that I also needed to adjust. And then after that we're good. We can shrink it down and put it on an actual alarm clock now. After we drag these two together. Alright, so I'm just gonna use sticker panel as a background behind it. So I'm just gonna make this rounded and I'm gonna drag it like so. So like a black or a dark blue background should look good, or dark green. Dark green would make more sense, I think. Okay, yeah. And then on the outside, we need to make the outside. So it's just gonna be like a chrome or like a plastic. Where's that rubber material from the... Okay, so let's say plastic should be good. There was another material I was thinking of, but I don't know what it's called. Trying to make sure it's just like the same layer. Wait, why isn't this? Okay, what layer is this? This is the thick layer. And this should be thick, but it's thin. Alright, there we go. I don't know why that wasn't placing before. Okay. Oh, it's sticker panel. That's what I remember. I made a sticker panel. I thought that was the same material as before. But yeah, this is sticker panel, and the other one is material plastic. So if we set this to front view, then it should be centered. And there we go. And then we could put it next to our bed. I don't think the AM PM thing is gonna fit because of like the size limit. Like we're already gonna have to make this kind of bigger already. And then I'll have to delete those 2 sackboys right there, or 3 sackboys. So the dresser, I'm just gonna make the dresser is actually on the list. But just real quick, I'm just gonna make a platform, like a block to place it on. Oh yeah, this is the night table. The night table is going to be right here. So that's where the lamp and everything is gonna go. Yeah, looks like that's the smallest it'll go. If it wasn't for the size limit, I would have had like something like a lamp right next to it, but there's a size limit, so I can't. Alright, there we go. Oh, and then the thing for AM, we need to add like a third port to the AND gate. So I should only do it when it's like AM. So AM is this one right here. Alright, so when it reaches 7 o'clock and I have my alarm set, there should be like an indicator for that. So like when it reaches 7 o'clock AM, this should be changing. Okay, so right now it's on PM. So I'll set my alarm clock. And it should be going off right now. Alright, there we go. And then we could turn it off by pressing R1. And we're good. I thought this was grabbable, but apparently it's not. Oh, I used cardboard. I remember now using invisible cardboard so that I didn't sink into my bed when I laid on it. Oh yeah, for anyone that missed the earlier part, pretty much what I did here is I made it so when you lay down and press L1 you can snore. So I think that's the indicator. I'm just gonna have like a green circle. Should probably be some of that fancier. Alright, so we have our alarm clock set. When it reaches 7, it's about to go off. And we could turn it off. Okay, what next? The ceiling fan. So there actually is already a thing. There's a decoration for that. So if you just take the rotating disc and place that decoration on it, so then we just need to choose a lamp. I need to zoom in a bit so it's centered. And then I'll make it bigger once it's centered. Alright, and then you flip it over. So the 3 speeds thing, all it is batteries with circuit nodes. You could use batteries inside of microchips, batteries in circuit nodes, or batteries in AND gates. It doesn't really matter because all 3 methods will work. I'm just gonna use circuit nodes since like people don't use those too often. I just want to show you that those actually are useful. So the way we're gonna do this, does this have a speed scale option? Okay, yeah, it does. So the way we're gonna do this, so we have like 3 speeds as well as an off. So to toggle in between those 3 speeds, we have a 4-port selector. The first port is off, and the second port is gonna be like, let's say 25%. Then 50, and then 100. And then we have circuit nodes going in between. Alright, so that should work. And again, if you're in loop point 2, and if you're doing something like this, obviously loop point 2 doesn't have the rotating disc unless you have the DC Comics pack, and it doesn't have this decoration. Although I imagine you could improvise by using like multiple decorations. So like if you use like a flat decoration for the fan blades, you can make something like this in loop point 2. But if you're in loop point 2, you could use batteries inside of a microchip, or you could use an AND gate and connect the selector ports to the second port of an AND gate. But yeah, the way we're going to do this is by placing this to the rotating this input and setting it to speed scale. This is the slow speed, and then medium, and then fast. The fast should actually be faster, so I'm just going to increase that a bit. Alright, there we go. I think that's good. And then we did a sound effect, of course. I always forget sound effects when I'm doing creations. Fan sort of sounds like that. If I had this set to anything below 30, I don't think it would work. Let me try that. Okay, yeah, it does work. I thought it wouldn't. But I'm gonna have this set up by L1 as well. We should probably have like all these controllers that we have. We should like be able to turn them off. So like I'm gonna do that after I do this. So L1 to like switch between it, and then we're gonna use R1 for the light. And it should have like a gradual thing, right? Instead of like turning off. That would be a good idea. I'm gonna try using a timer. And if I set this to positional, I feel like it won't work. Or the server's back. No, I'm creating offline. I create levels. I create stuff for fun. But you can still play on servers if you're on PSD. If you can connect to private servers, so you jailbreak your PSD if you're able to, and then you could connect to LBP3 Union servers such as Beacon or Refresh or Bonsai. Or if you can't jailbreak your PSD, you could play on PC if it's powerful enough. If not, if you have a PSD at all, you don't want to, if you don't want to jailbreak it, you could always play community levels by downloading them onto a USB drive and then putting that into your PSD. And unfortunately, right now there isn't a way to play levels on PS4 or PS5. But nah, servers are down. I just create for fun. Okay, so right now we have the fan. 3 speeds right here. Forgot to set this to positional. But I forgot to connect the thing to it. Oh, you found your PSD? Yeah, there's like a whole bunch I have a tutorial on my YouTube channel, on this channel, and my gameplay channel on how to download levels. So if you go to my channel, you should see it. It's like the second most recent video, I think. So yeah, how to play any level, how to play any LBP3 level, and it will show you how to search for levels and how to download them, and put them on your USB drive, and then it will show you what to do once you put the USB drive into your PSD. But yeah, I was downloading I downloaded like 30 levels the other day. So like, I got Borber Island and stuff like that on my PSD, as well as some other levels. Like, there was this level, No Pegs Island. I imagine it was popular back in the day, but I never played it until like fairly recently. I played it during my last live stream, and before that. Let's see. So we already have the speeds. Okay, yeah, it works. That actually works. I wasn't expecting it to work. Cause like before, when I turned it off, it was like turning off instantly, which doesn't happen in real life. So now it has like a more gradual turn off, which still isn't the most realistic thing ever, but like it's better than before. So for the lamp, there's like, we have like at least a few different options. So yeah, I think I'm gonna use this one. Okay, I can't glue this because it's not connected, but I could use a sticker panel to connect it. And I'm gonna trigger that with R1, because like L1 is for turning the fan on and off, and then after that we have to actually turn these controllers off, because I have L1 for everything. L1 for stirring when you're under the bed, L1 for turning the alarm clock on, and then L1 for the fan. So I need to like make it so when you're actually like when you're on the bed, you could toggle it, and when you're in front of the alarm clock, else everything is gonna be like triggering out at the same time. It's gonna be like confusing. Okay, I gotta zoom in so I could. Okay, I'm gonna temporarily make this bigger so I could actually. Alright, there we go. Then we shouldn't have the issue anymore. Not being able to open it, or whatever, or move it. But yeah, R1 is gonna be for turning the light on and off. And then after that, I think we're doing the drawers. So I have to make a dresser. I made the night table, which is very basic, so I just needed it for the alarm clock. But the drawers for the dresser is gonna be 4 of them. And that isn't gonna be, it should be gray, not black. Okay, there you go. Okay, so you could turn that on and off. And we could turn the fan, different speeds. Okay, and that's why I need to turn the control meter off, because then that happens. Alright, so I have like 3 different control meters. Only 2 of them really matter here. But I pretty much need to make it so I need to add a knockgate to disable them. I learned this from Codex. His tutorials are in French and I don't understand French, but I watched them one time when I was bored and I sort of understood them. So like the one thing that I got from his tutorial on how to make a car is that even if your control meter is set to receiver like mine is, what you could do is you could like make it so the controls are disabled by using a knockgate. I already knew about that trick for like the other settings, but I didn't know that it worked on a receiver. So that's cool. So I'm gonna make it so when you're not, let's say you have to be in like this general area, I'm gonna have a player sensor. So when you're not in this general area, then you can't control the alarm clock. So then that straight up disables the controls. So you see right now, like, okay, so pay attention to this thingy right here, the toggle. When I'm near the bed, I could toggle the alarm clock on and off, but when I'm not, I can't. I'm pressing L1, but I can't. And I need to do the same thing for the fan actually. So the fan, I need to make a wall. So yeah, I'm gonna just use plastic again, I guess. I'll make the white trimming. And then I'll make the actual wall. The white trimming makes it look nice and more like an actual house. And let's say a blue. Yeah, that should be good. Oh yeah, I need to add a wall, so there's gonna be like a wall, like, it should be on this side. I'm like slightly like, there's like this thing, I'll show y'all later, but like there's this thing we can like make slanted walls. So I'm thinking of doing that a bit later, maybe. Okay, so this is the wall, and we're just gonna have a very basic switch on here. That switch that people used back in LBP3. If you played like any like RPG level, you might have seen this electrical socket switch right here. We're gonna be using that. And we're gonna make it so when you're standing in this general area right here, then that's when you could turn the fan on. Instead of like being anywhere in the level, you have to be in like this general area. So for the fan, we're gonna do the same thing that we did for the bed, where we do that thing with the NOT gate. So the eject input isn't just for like kicking the player out of the control nader. When it's used for receiver, it could disable the controls. And again, I learned that from Codex, that French dude. You might know him as the dude that made the level Spy Never Die back in LBP3. He made some LBP2 levels. What was it? Machinima 1 and 2. He made those levels. He also made like a puzzle level. He had like a brother. It's called Etern something. It was like Codex and Eternity. They had like a co-op series, or like a 2-player level series, I think. Okay, so now you have to be in this general area. Like, let me explain that a bit actually. But yeah, I could press L1 and nothing happens. But when I go over here, and then the same thing for over here, I could set my alarm clock. It said 7 a.m. it goes off. And then I could turn it off with R1. Okay, let's see. What's next on our list? Okay, so we did these things. So the dresser with the drawers. So 4 clothes that open and close separately. So it's pretty much just like a thing with the direction splitter. We're just going to use 2 direction splitters so we can control each one separately. And then we need to cut holes out of this. I'm gonna shrink this down when I'm done, but pretty much this is how it's gonna look. Alright, so the thing is gonna be sliding into these, like so. And then cardboard is just like a temporary material. And of course I'll need to add that back to that. Okay, so the way I was thinking of doing it like this, obviously we need a anti-gravity tweaker to keep it in the air, or else it's gonna fall to the ground. So we're gonna make it so it's at 40, so it could like still move. It could still move. But like it can't move like too much. And then we could just use a normal in and out mover, but the problem with that is that it only has like a few settings, so like move in once and then move to front and move to specific layers. I don't think it has a positional setting. So like the reason I'm using the positional setting, like I've seen this done a little bit too without this, but like in real life when you open a drawer, it doesn't open all the way. It like stays in the drawer a little bit. If you open it all the way, it would just fall out. I know this because like I have drawers in my room where like I haven't broken any of my drawers in a while, but like sometimes I have like this drawer where I keep all of my old birthday cards because I don't feel like it would be weird throwing away my birthday cards, so I've kept like all of them. So like, what is it like? I don't know if I got any when I was 1. But I've kept all of them, so like at least 15 years worth. Or like 18. It's not 21 years, but those, I accidentally pulled those out. So I think if we have like a battery set to 75 or 80, I think that would be good. I don't know what layer this is. Let me check. Pressing R2, so that's 6, and then the layer behind it is layer 7, right? So layer 6 and 7. Alright, so if I move. Alright, so yeah, this should be good. So if I just have it like 60%, like that's more realistic to the way that drawers work in real life, where you don't like pull it all the way out. So yeah, I think 65 should be good. And I'm gonna make it so you can like put stuff in here with the grabinator, like small stuff like clothes or whatever. There's like this material, this object I was thinking of using. And then there's a decoration that we can use for the handle. There's actually like quite a few decorations we can use for the handle. I'm gonna filter to Tiki Pack, or I think it's from the Seaside Pack actually. But yeah, there's like this one where it's like drawer handle right here. Obviously we could use anything, but that's just the first one that comes to mind when I'm doing this. But also the color matches pretty nicely. And I gotta material change this. And then what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna temporarily set this to 100. Just so I could glue these. So I'm just gonna use the advanced glue tool, so I don't accidentally glue anything else behind it. Yeah, I was hoping that would work, but like, let me see again. There's like this thing, I don't know what it's called. We could really place anything in here, as long as it's like one layer. I want something that's one layer. Okay, this should be one layer. Okay, I think I know what I'm gonna do instead. Instead of having the drawers, we could still use the advanced in and out mover if we want to. Like just to have like a smooth thing, like a smooth transition. But I'm thinking of using it so we could have like this set to like forwards, backwards. Or like speed skill, I guess. Speed skill, forwards, backwards, it doesn't matter. I mean it does, but I could do both. But then I'm gonna have this. I'm gonna have this set to only collide with Sackboy. So that way we could stop the drawers go in. Because I realized that the objects won't be able to go in the drawers. So only with sackboy. And then we're gonna have an advanced and not move around here. There we go. Okay, so that's good. So sackboy should be able to come out with this, but like no one else should. Yeah, that's weird, it's not working. The physics trigger didn't work the last time I tried it too. It's like really weird. Maybe it's because I'm using the what's it called with it. Okay, yeah, I think it is working. I'm gonna temporarily decentralize this, just see what will happen. See if that will work now. Okay, yeah, it works. Oh, it's because of this in here. Okay, yeah, that didn't work as well as I expected it to. Cause now it's like in a little. Okay, yeah, I guess we could do the thing that we were doing before. I just thought it would be cool if you could place objects inside, but I guess not. So yeah, we're gonna do the thing we were doing with the battery. So I realized it looks weird when it's like sunken into it. So we're just gonna set this to 25, turn it on and off by using a circuit node. And that should be good. We could still use a timer just for it to look natural. Just so it's like a gradual thing instead of like instantly snapping to that position. And then of course we need to create a back for this. I just don't want to like accidentally glue it to the drawer. But I could have like, if the drawer wasn't there, I would have just glued it normally. And like always, this is going to be controlled by L1. And this time from the beginning, I'm just going to use a NOT gate, so we don't have to do it later on. So when you're in this general area, so like when you're not in this general area, the control should be disabled, and we just set it to receiver, controlled by nearest player. Alright, so what we're gonna do now is we're just gonna copy and paste this like 3 times after placing the selector. So like, not the selector, what's it called? We're gonna use direction splitters, right? So when you push left on your stick, that's gonna open this drawer right here. So let me just test that out right now. Okay, yeah, it could open. And then we're just gonna have the other drawers. I think I need to move this up a bit. But yeah, it pretty much works. Wait, did I decipher this? Yeah, I don't know what that gap's about, but it pretty much works. Alright, so then we copy and paste this. I'm gonna place the controls in a separate microchip. Actually, so, and I'm just gonna make this microchip smaller. Alright, so here's the controls. And then I could copy and paste this. So let's I had the direction splitter in there. Okay, let me make sure that this time I don't place it into any of the other drawers. Oh yeah, this is okay, so this is good, but the other one wasn't. And also I need to delete the player sensor. We also don't need the direction splitter because that should be on the mini controls. And we just do the same thing for up and down. I guess the control scheme is a little bit weird, but at least it's not for like nothing complex. So it's just like it's just opening doors. Alright, so let me see how this will go. So we could open this drawer with this thing. And when I press that, this drawer opens and up and then down. So now all we have to do is string this. I'm gonna place this player sensor over here, or make this bigger. Actually, I'm gonna place it on the side so it doesn't mess with the bed controls. I feel like I should have like sound effects for that. I think there's like a wooden drawer sound effect, I think. Okay, yeah, it's not that. It's not really the right sound that I'm looking for. Like I don't really go in the sound objects too much, so like the right sound isn't like the top of my head. I think it's this. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna use the wood creek even if it's in the most realistic sound that someone do. So when you press either one of these, so when you press the up, right, or left, then it plays up, down, or left, right, then it plays that song. Okay, so yeah, it works. You just can't get in the drawers since they're not like in the right layer. But yeah, so far we got the laying down thing working right. We got the alarm clock. Let me set it so you can see how it works. So yeah, it goes off at 7, and then you can turn it off. And then we got this ceiling fan. I have to turn it on over here. Has 2 different speeds. As well as the light that you can turn on and off as well. Oh yeah, and a lockable door. We're probably gonna have the TV maybe over here, or I don't know where I'm gonna place the TV. But the door could go like right here. So I'm just gonna make the wall a little bit like thinner. And then I'm gonna make the door frame. The door frame is gonna be made out of like thin material. So I'm gonna use, say, plastic. Need to change the angle. Okay, so here's the door frame. And then I need to make it. Oh yeah, I just realized it should be 1 layer, not 2. I don't know why it's 2 layers right now. I'm gonna change that in a second. Cause it doesn't need to be that thick. But yeah, this should be good. So now I just have to add the piece above it. And of course glue that. And we're gonna be good after I change the color, of course. Okay, so to make this door lockable, after we actually added door, we only added the door frame right now. But once we add the door, to make it lockable, I'm gonna use L1 like I've been using for everything else. So I'm gonna make it so when you're standing in front of the door, but like only on this side. So I guess I'll just have to add like should really make the door first. I'm talking about how like the locking is gonna work. I even made the door, but like. Alright, there we go. it shouldn't go all the way down to the floor, so that's good. And then to make the open version of the door, all I do is make this thin. Just realized I messed it up right there. There's like a curve when there shouldn't be a curve. Alright, there we go. So then we're just going to use the opacity tweaker. There are like some methods that use the emitter, but I prefer to use the opacity tweaker so I have like all the logic in one place. Like like all the stuff I need in one place. Alright, so like I said before, we're gonna have to place a sticker panel in the middle since I don't want the player to be able to lock it from the other side. So the player sensor is gonna be on the sticker panel, and then the logic is also gonna be on this sticker panel right here. So you press R1 to open it, and then you press L1 to lock it. And I'm gonna have a sound effect so you know that you locked it. So control set to receiver, and control by nearest player. And then we need to disable the controls when you're not in this area. So we need a not gate. The eject input is also used for disabling controls, not just ejecting players from the seat. So when you're not in this area, then it disables your controls. So this area would be like, let's say right here. And then I'll just move this over. So when you're not in this area, then it disables the controls. So L1 should be used, is going to be used to lock the door. Locking the door is just going to be a simple toggle. But to save on the boundary space, so I don't have to use a not gate for the second thing. Wait, I'm gonna have to use a not gate either way. I could use two toggles here, I guess. So this is just gonna be for locking the door. So I'm gonna place this on the other side so I don't get confused. So L1 for locking the door, and then for opening the door, you could use a toggle or you could use a selector. It doesn't really matter too much, really. But yeah, that's when the door is open. And then this right here, the other opacity tweaker, should be activated when it's closed. Alright, so that's how it works right now. Let me zoom in a bit so y'all can see better. And just like in real life, you can't close it while you're in it, else I guess that could happen. But anyway, if you want to lock it, so if you have a player on this side, so let's say I press L1 to lock the door, I'm gonna have a sound effect for that so you know that you locked it. Should probably be like a button press, right? So I'll just do this one. And then I should have like, oh yeah, a doorknob. That would make sense. Okay. And I just realized that this should be set to layer 1, but it's set to layer 3. So I think I'm gonna have it set to layer 0. Okay, yeah, that's annoying. Wait a sec, the player center that controls this. Did I accidentally connect it? I think I did. That's why. But yeah, I still need this set to layer 0. I think I'm just gonna use, honestly, at this point, I'm just gonna use a sticker panel instead, because that isn't working. A sticker panel with an opacity tweaker pretty much works the same way. So I'm gonna use that instead. Not an opacity, impact sensor. That's what I'm gonna say. So that would just go into the not gate. So like when you're not touching the invisible sticker panel, then the controls will be disabled. So you could still do it, but like not when you're over here, and not when you're over here, of course. And I could delete this one since I don't need it anymore. And I think I had the wrong one connected over here. Actually, I'm gonna use the impact sensor setup over here since it seems to be more reliable. I don't know how that moved out of the way, but now it shouldn't anymore. Okay, let's see. Is it locked? Okay, so I need another impact sensor over here, and then I need to make my floor longer. I'm not gonna bother to make a wall since you're not gonna see this, the other side of the room too much anyway. But if another player is trying to open the door, they can't do it if it's locked. So I'm gonna set it up right now. Alright, so I said the lock was, this is the fan, this is the door. So I said the lock was this toggle, right? So first thing, I gotta make this bigger. So I need to indicate. So when the door is unlocked, to save it on a little bit of thermal, I'm going to use the selector instead, or else I'm going to have to use a not gate. Wait, no, that's the lock button. That's the lock button. Okay, I already have a not gate for the other thing. That's the lock. I didn't realize that. Okay, so this is opening the door. So the toggle thing is right here. So when the door is locked, and you should only be able to lock it when it's actually closed. So let me add an end gate. So when the door is closed, which it is right now, and when you press the L1 button, then you can lock it. so you know it's locked when you hear that click. And the player on this side shouldn't be able to open the door if it's locked. So the way I'm gonna do that is probably with the orgy, I think. Oh yeah, an AND gate, yes. I mean, I will need an OR gate. So this player can open the door no matter what. But for the other player, they can only open it when it's like unlocked. We could use a mod kit, it doesn't really matter too much, I guess. But I was just trying to save on a little bit of thermometer space. So when you press on it, so for this player it has to be unlocked, and I'm gonna move this closer to the door. Oh, I just realized I forgot the, what's it called? The physics tweaker. That's why it wasn't letting me pass through, because the physics tweaker. Look, I need that. Hopefully the physics tweaker will work this time, because it hasn't been working lately. So collision's off. And then whatever the opacity tweaker has going into it, I'll need that as well. Trying to get this wire. Okay, I think it's this one right here. I could change the color just to make sure. Okay, yeah. It's this not gate right here. So now just plug that into the physics tweaker. So now I shouldn't be able to like. Now it should let me pass through. Which it does not. Okay, there we go. Now it works. So you can also open and close the door from this side. But if it's locked, then you shouldn't be able to do that. So let me test it out. Okay, yeah, I gotta just check the wiring. Oh, I realized what I just did. I just have the impact sensor, not the thing. I need a separate control meter for that. I just realized that. I'm gonna place another microchip so I don't have to like place it on here like that. So I guess I could just make it, I guess in this case I don't need the AND gate, I could just make it so. So when you press the button to open it, which is R1, right? So when you press R1, you shouldn't even be able to press R1 if the door isn't. So I guess I do need an AND gate. So this detects when you're in the zone where you could close the door and open it and stuff. Just got rid of my thing. It's right there. Okay, so when you're in the zone where you can open it, and when the door is actually not locked, so not locked is this not gear right here, then you should be able to use the controls. So I locked it, and then when I try to do it over here, oh wait, I just realized something. I'm gonna just place this inside of a microchip to keep things simple. Alright, so here's another way of doing these things. Before I watched Codex's tutorial on the how to make a car or something like that. Then I just did this method right here, so that's what we're doing right now. So when you're in this zone, wait, how are the controls start working over there? I thought I like disabled them or something. Oh, I know what I did now. I forgot to set it to all. I set it to players. I have to set it to players. It's set to everything right now. It just needs to be set to players. And I need to do the same thing for any other impact sensors that I have in my level. So players. Detecting collisions with players. Because it was detecting collisions with the floor and wall and all that. Okay, there we go. There we go. Now it should work. So I can open and close the door. I can lock it, which means this player shouldn't be able to open and close the door. Which they can't. Unless I unlock it. So now they can open and close the door. There should be a sound effect for unlocking it as well. That would make sense. Okay, so I'll just do that one. So when it's unlocked. Okay, so yeah, now they can't close, they can't open the door. They have to wait for this player to open it. Or the person on this side. Okay, yeah. It would help if I had visual indicators as well. But like this is sort of already at a small scale, so you wouldn't even be able to see it anyway. On the side of like a light or something. Either way, the last thing, the TV. So the TV. Really the only place we have room for is I guess on maybe this wall. You could place it on top of the dresser. That's how it was when I went to like this Airbnb. It was like on top of the dresser. But I don't think the dresser was this tall. We're just placed on here for now though. Then all this needs to be black. I don't think we could set the material plastic as black as I want it to be, so we're gonna switch to titanium or whatever that material in the DC Comics pack is called. Slick Chases, that's what it's called. I thought it would be blacker than that, but it's not. Okay, what's the darkest material that you can get? Probably neon, right? So if I set it to neon, I think I'll be able to get it pretty dark. Okay, yeah, there we go. And then I said it was gonna have like, I was thinking like 5 channels. But either way, the channels are pretty much, I'm not doing nothing fancy. It's not gonna be like an animated GIF. It's really just gonna be stickers. So we have to align this to grid first. But it's gonna be controlled by a power up. I think in a future stream I might make a video, like a music player. Not a. I already said music player, but like I'm in like a video where like if you, in my 4th of July level, I was like thinking of doing something like that. Where like when you press the button, it like changes the song that's playing. I forget the name of what it's called, but like not a wireless. I forget what it's called. But yeah, along with the music sequencer, I want to have like a future live stream where I make a. So the music sequencer is the piano that can record your songs, so you can make your own songs and stuff. And then I want to have a music player. So think of like making your own playlist of songs. Like you have different songs to choose from, and you can make your own playlist. I want to do that in a future stream. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna choose the concept of pictures. You know, like the early Little Planet concepts. I have them blurred out because I never use these stickers too much. I like this one. This one is cool. And then all of these need to be set to like 50, or else it's gonna be too bright. And then I need to set all these, the opacity needs to be set to 0%. Because right now it's just set to darkness 0%, but that won't help. Alright, so. Oh yeah, and then the control meter. So we're not gonna do the thing with the not. We actually don't need a controller. Okay, let me make the remote power up, and then I'll do the thing with the selector. So the selector, we're just gonna be wiring these. And I just realized I need a 6-1 for the blank TV screen. So this is just gonna be black. Not black, but gray, because the TV is black, so. But yeah, like a darker gray. Like that should be good. And then we need a 6-port selector. So instead of having a controlator thing wired directly to this, we're gonna have a tag sensor. And we're gonna have, on the power up, we're gonna have like the trigger button connected to a tag. So that's how we're gonna do this. And we're just gonna make it so you have to be standing in this general area. So we're gonna use the same player sensor. So you have to be standing in front of the TV like this to change it. I'm gonna place all these together at the end in case I need to make any modifications to the logic. It'll be easier to do that if they're not overlapped. So the power up, I'm trying to decide whether I want to use a material or a decoration. I'll just use a material for now, I guess. I mean, I could use both. I'll use a decoration. The decoration might have like more flexibility in terms of like detail I want to add and stuff like that. And I'll place a few of these. And also with this, even if I don't add any detail, I'll be able to make it the thickness I want if I use this. And I need to set it to center. Scale from top pretty much centers automatically. Trying to make something that isn't like too big for my hand. I guess that's good. I got like something like a red light at the top or something. There we go. That's the remote. And the reason I centered it is so that it easily lines up with the power up handle. Okay. So, with this, you make it invisible. You place the thingy on it first, the power up blaster handle on it. Okay, so right attack. Sorry, I got a bit distracted there. So the tag. So L1. I mean that's R1. 'Cause that's the trigger thing, right? So we're just gonna call this TV remote. And then we need a tag sensor. Oh, I guess the AND gate. We need a tag sensor and an AND gate. Or actually, we just need the tag sensor to be in the same general area as the player sensor. And it should be the same thing as the player sensor. So if this is 17, then this needs to be 17. And they're not in the exact same area, but like it's close enough. So we need to set this to TV remote. So when it receives a signal from the TV remote, which is a power up, then it changes the channel. So now I just gotta glue this together, and then we can save it as a power up. We have to check if this is centered. Yeah, I don't think it is. Alright, there we go. Now we can see it as a power up. There was a level I used to play in LBP3 2. It was called Change That Channel. So it was like you get to like be inside it for like a TV show. It was fun. You could still play it if you play on PS. I haven't downloaded it, but I wrote it down on my list of levels that I want to download. I got into this habit of downloading levels and then not playing them. I have like 300 levels on my PS3, and I probably only played like 50 of them. It's crazy. I should probably play some of the levels that I downloaded. I mean, I do, but then I get like I play like 5 levels and then that's it. So if I'm downloading like 20 levels and then only playing 5 of them, I'm not playing all the levels that I downloaded. Okay, so now all I have to do is group all of this together. And then it should work. I have to do it twice like this. I have to move it like up and down because it's not perfectly on grid. I didn't build it using the grid. I just like used the grid to like move it so it like lines up, but it's not like perfectly on grid. I think I was like having the same issue with my numbers, so I had to adjust them manually. Alright, there we go. I think that's good. Let me zoom in a bit so I can see. But I think that's good. Okay, so let's test it. So we get the power up. And yeah, we could change the channel. If we want to, we could add like music or whatever. So like what? This is the islands. I'll just do the what's it called? The interactive tracks. The islands has interactive music, right? Okay, yeah. I wasn't sure if LBP3, or actually LBP3 1 does have interactive music, but I forgot what that meant for a second. The inputs for these are pretty much invisible since logic didn't exist back in LBP3 1. Then what is this? The weddings, I think. I don't know what theme this is exactly. We could just like, I know that number 2 is the guardians, I think. Okay, number 6 is the guardians. So we're gonna set it to the guardians interactive theme. And then I'm trying to see what number 5 is, the canyons. Number 4, it looks like the weddings. I can't be too sure, but let's just set it to the weddings. I think that's the savannah. And then this one is like no music whatsoever. So we could literally have like a blank music sequencer with nothing on it. Alright, so let's see how that works. Okay then, the music turns off. I need a way to turn off the drawers, like to disable the drawers when you have a power up. I'm not sure if you could do that though. Like I think I tried to do something like that in a previous stream and it didn't work, but I'll try it again. So the power up speaker. Or the power up the sack pocket sensor. It should be in like player sensors, or you would think it would be in player sensors, but there should be a thing called sack pocket sensor, I think. Wait, I'm gonna try something. Because I remember in my previous stream I didn't even have the sack pocket enabled. I don't have it in this one either. I'll try it again. So it's pretty much just like a tag sensor instead. And then I'll just recapture this. Okay, hopefully this works this time. Spotted blue, and I had to set the attack sensor. I mean remote. Okay, there we go. So now I just have to disable this. I forget whether I'll need it in gate or gate here. So okay, then I can just invert this. So like when you're pushing it and when you don't have a power up, then it should do it. And it doesn't now. Because I was having a problem where I was like aiming it and accidentally opening the drawers. So now I don't have that problem anymore. I have to unequip it if I want to open the drawers. So it doesn't like do that. But yeah, I think that's everything. I'm just gonna test out the TV again, then I'll demonstrate everything that I made today. Okay, so here's what we made today, and also before I end it, let me just go over the announcements. Next stream, we're doing Terraria, so that's Friday, we're playing the game, so I can show off my world. I haven't played it in a long time, so I'll be familiarizing myself with my world during the week, and then on Friday, we'll be playing it. I have like a teleportation system that I made, and it's like rainbow themed or whatever, like rainbow bricks. I remember I had to form those. I had to make my own form to like get rainbow bricks. I thought it would look cool. And I made like arrows out of balloons. It was like a whole thing. I have like a beach house and other stuff I could show y'all on Friday. And also forms. I grind a lot in that game. Or like I had to grind a lot to get materials. You'll see it on Friday. Like all of my road, and then we might start a new road. And then on Sunday, I'll be recreating my favorite features and any features that y'all suggest. And then 2 more games after that. And then after that, after Terraria and 2 more games, I'll be in school. So during the school year, I'll be streaming once a month, and I'll be going back to my normal random theme streams. Random themes is like random stuff like furniture or mosquitoes, dance animation, and stuff like that. It's just random themes. And I'll be streaming like once a month during the school year, so I could like focus on my schoolwork, and my grades, and get good grades and all that. But yeah, here's everything that we made today. So we made the bed. So the way the bed works is that you could lay down on your back or on your stomach or your side, and when you're doing either of these positions, you could snore. You can't snore while standing up though. You have to be on your back or your stomach or your side to do that. And before, I was like sinking into the bed, so I added like a layer of cardboard that was like higher than the bed. Oh snap, I forgot to say. But yeah, that's the alarm clock. I wasn't planning to demonstrate that right now. But pretty much the way it works is that you could like turn it on and off with L1. L1 is also the button for snoring. So I'm just gonna move that over. But yeah, I have like a lot of things being activated by L1. So I just made it so when you're actually in that area, the controls should be active. But anyway, I was talking about like snoring. But basically the way the alarm clock works, you press L1 to toggle it on and off. So I have it set for 7 a.m. So that means when it reaches 7 a.m. and it's actually on, then it will go off. Like this. And then I could turn it off by pressing R1. So I turn it off now, and it won't go off at 7 a.m. I have the ceiling fan. Let me zoom out a bit so y'all can see. I have to be over here to do it. So I could turn the light on and off. There's 3 different speeds. This is the slower speed, then medium, and then fast. Then you can turn it off. I made a door that could be locked and unlocked. So you could just open. You could open and close it. I just unlocked it. That's what that sound is. But you could lock it. like this, and that means that any players on the other side will not be able to open it unless you unlock it. And now players on the other side can open and close it. And then I made these drawers that you could open with your right stick. You can't open them when you have the remote in your hand, since you use this for like aiming. So I made it so when you press R1, you could change the channel, and I added some music. It's not animated, it's just like a simple screen, but it has music though. It's 5 channels. And that's pretty much it. So yeah, that's pretty much all they made today. The bed, the alarm clock, the ceiling fan, the dresser, the dresser with drawers, lockable door, and the TV remote. And yeah, so yeah, thank you everyone for joining my stream, and I'll see y'all next week on Friday and Sunday. So yeah, bye, and thank you for joining.